Hello, everyone, and welcome to Charlotte. I am your host tonight, Noah Walter, and you join me here for the Wild Cardz 300 at this fantastic 1.5 mile speedway. Basically, a super speedway we're going to be having here tonight with the intense long runs, and all the drivers going to be bunched right up together, nearly full throttle the entire time. We really are in for one insane, very long race. So strap in and get ready because there is going to be a lot of action going on here tonight. In a couple surprise turns, we have many drivers with their breast cancer awareness paint schemes running out. So they will be out there tonight. Look for the pink cars. There will be a lot of them, I promise, which is great to see. We love to bring awareness to, important causes. So we got that. We also have another very big upset on the start of the field. Many drivers running right up towards the top, which we're not always used to seeing running on the first rows. So we're going to be happy to see that. And we have another super high attendance raise with 31 registers. So whether or not we see that out on track is remaining to be seen, but I imagine we will. So expect a 2-hour race. So like I said, buckle in for that one. If you need to get some drinks, please do so now because we have a long race into the night and on the racetrack as well. So as we round out qualifying, I'll let you in a little hint right now. Your first two on the grid are going to be Chris Pierce and Brady Floyd. So let's go ahead and grab Chris and see what his thoughts are here tonight on his current starting position. Chris, up in the booth, do you read me?
Yes, I do.
Starting on pole position here at Charlotte, that must feel good.
Yeah, no, I kind of jumped in the session pretty late. I wasn't confident about getting those practice laps in, kind of getting warmed up, but apparently we got the speed tonight.
I guess so. I know that the last couple of races you've been hoping to really start pushing and try to get up there, but you're hoping to make a really big strategy call this race. Do you think that's going to still work out in your favor?
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away so far. We did some practice. We figured out some things, but yeah, no, definitely from the past couple races, trying to learn some things, maybe dial it back just a touch and keep the car in one piece.
All right, makes a lot of sense, mate. Chris, thank you very much for your time and good luck here tonight.
Thank you.
Number 25, Chris Pierce in the ATVO Pierce Graphics. I think he's in the Ford Mustang. So with that, let's go and run through our grid order here tonight for the Wild Cardz 300. Starting on pole position, it will be the 25 of Chris Pierce with Brady Floyd in the 20 alongside. Row number 2 inside lane is going to go to Tyler Hallahan in the 88 with Chris Stroop alongside in the 87. Row number 3 inside lane goes to 2 weeks ago, because we didn't have a race last week, winner Will Cloud at Bristol in the 48. Alongside will be pseudo teammate for Equipment Geek Racing, number 39, Brandon Fiedler. Row number 4 inside lane is going to go to Rob Carl with Matt Malavagna, a potential winner from last year but did not quite make it, hoping to get his revenge here at Charlotte in the 3. After that, in row number 5, inside, it's going to go to Matt Stewart with Bryn George, going to be bringing up 10th position. Outside your top 10, bringing up 11th is going to be the 28 of Paul Ems, and alongside him will be the 55 of Jeffrey Belk. Row number 7 inside is going to be the teammate of Paul Ems, Greg Snellgrove, with Richard Drake in the 41 alongside. Then in row number 8 inside is going to go to the 10 of Richard Beasley with teammate Kyle Mandel alongside. Warning Track Racing, bringing up 15th and 16th there, did amazingly in practice, but we're seeing him a little bit further down in the field. So we're going to see how that continues to play out here. Row number 9 is going to go to Kenny Reel and Jesse Atkinson. Jesse, brand new to this car and track combination, so we're going to see how that goes. Row number 10 inside is going to go to Cody Snyder and Daniel Sykes. And then row number 11 is going to go to Goodwin and Olson in his first CASCAR Shorter Plumbing Cup Series start. Row number 12 inside is going to go to Sylvan Seguin and Ben McDonald. 13 is going to go to Wes Gallo, Ashton Reiki. Row number 14 is going to go to the 81 and Brian Fradian and Michael Jennings. And then bringing up the rear of your field, it will be Patrick Coluccio, Michael Sparks, and Brian Lorenzo if he makes it on track, but I don't think Lorenzo will. So, big field, 31 cars, more likely 30. 30 actually out on track. Going to be joining us here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the oval, the 1.5-mile track, ready to put on a fantastic show. We're expecting 40-lap runs out of these cars, and it will be Chris Pierce bringing us to the green flag. The iRacing pace car pulls down pit lane. We head into the Geico restart zone in just a moment. It's a longer one. There it is. They're in the restart zone, and it's green flag. A first lap already proving to show tons of promise for the speeds we're going to be seeing here for the rest of the night. Buckle in, everybody. We got about 2 hours at least of white knuckle racing. Chris Pierce is able to maintain the lead. It looks like we're going to be seeing a little bit less passing than I was expecting here on these initial first laps. But Chris Pierce, Brady Floyd, and Chris Stroop already beginning to run away with this race. We're going to see how long that lasts here on this initial start. Keep in mind, the track is warm right now. So to our uninitiated at home, that will mean that there is a little bit less grip on the racetrack with it being a higher temperature. The tires do not want to grip up as well. But it looks like Chris is really thriving in this environment. A little bit further back, though, we can see Brady Floyd running with the first pink car of the night in second. He did make a bit of a mistake with his paint as he wasn't able to get a recolored one, so we're going to see the wireframe on that one. But that's okay. It's always, bringing importance to the cause is more the idea. A bit further back, it looks like Floyd and Pierce will really start to be moving away on this one. Stroop just a little bit further back in the 87. I think he would like. Brandon Fiedler currently leading up this next pack. Dave T, good to see you. He's got a lot of cars behind him. Tyler Hallahan currently running inside the top 5. Actually, scratch that. He's going to be down in the 6 now as Will Cloud dives down to the inside there with the Pierce Graphics number 48 for Z Racing. The Hallahan, though, one of the drivers that is really one of the ones trying to push for consistent top 10 finishes. He isn't always up there, but he's showing a lot of promise this season, and right now here at Charlotte, he's doing pretty good, so we're going to have to check back in on that, but we're only just at the start of this race. He's got his teammate Rob Carl right behind him, though, in the 2. Just outside the top 10, bringing up 11th, it's Matt Malavagna in the 3, also running a new breast cancer awareness car. He's got the pink and purple instead, which is a fantastic color for that Raise Energy Ford Mustang. As a limited appearance, we've not seen a lot of him. Richard Drake goes for the pass, now taking away 11th. Battle for second starting to really heat up here, so we're joining up there. Chris Stroop really trying to get his best on the bottom, but Brady Floyd, just with a little bit more speed on the top, has been able to maintain a higher position. Brett Murphy getting out onto the track in 31st. Could be 5 laps down. Looks like Lorenzo, unfortunately, was unable to make the start, so that will not be a start for him. Chris Stroop, though, unable to hold the second. Brady Floyd still has it for now. He's got that 87, though, bearing right behind him. see that is Brandon Fiedler getting to close in for Equipment Geek Racing. Close to the wall there for the Early Social Development Lab number 20. Stroop still has the bottom. We saw him just skim the paint there on the lower side. When going through 3 and 4, you got to be really careful of that paint on the bottom. Otherwise, you can send the car loose as there's just less traction down there. Brandon Fiedler able to really begin to close up, though. Doing a fantastic job of that. He's got that entire pack behind him, though, and I know he's looking for his teammate, pseudo-teammate, of Will Cloud in the 48 to come assist. Currently running into the fifth. With Carl a little bit further back, we got the 28 of Paul Ems, also starting to make some moves forward, now in 8th. Bryn George ahead of him in 7th, with the 45. Also running a little bit different paint scheme today with the white Equipment Geek Racing logo on the hood. That is the inverse of 2 weeks ago, the paint he was running. Let's head back a little bit in this race and see what else is going on in the field. Currently running in 21st, it's the newbie, Cody Olson, in the 6th. Currently tails behind the 99 of Daniel Sykes, as we see Brian Fradien on the bottom and Brett Murphy in the 64 with the NS Service Ford Mustang coming down to go in the bottom. So he's got just a little bit more speed built up in that Ford Mustang. Makes sense, he's on fresher tires, but he is several laps down. Uh-oh, looks like we're having some connection issues with the 99. I think that might be him out of this. A couple drivers are having some connection issues across the board, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Up a little bit further, we can see the 55, Jeffrey Belk. Chris Pierce continues to run away with this race so far, almost getting his lead up to a second, as we see Chris Stroop has fallen back into 6th, as Brandon Fiedler has cut his way into 9th, and he's getting a big help there from the 48 of Will Cloud. That's allowing them to push forward. Ooh, collision between the 39 and the 2. Cars are both able to hold it, but I think Rob is really trying to be aggressive and get those points. He goes for the block. He's got it. 3rd place for Rob Carl. Chris Stroop on the bottom. Once again, making some headway. That's going to be forcing Fiedler and Cloud down into 5th and 6th. They're going to have to start cutting their way back through to get around them. And as they can see, the aggression from Rob Carl will not be making this any easier. Fiedler beginning to fall back a little bit. I think he's trying to give Will Cloud a stab at it. Last week's winner at Bristol. Stroop and Carl are not teammates, though. Warning Track and Great White North are not teammates. So we're going to have to see how that plays out as these two currently work together. Good run from Will Cloud on the bottom on Chris Stroop. Can he get it through 3? I think so. As Richard Drake starts making his way through, last season's champion with the Kinetic Racing, number 41 Toyota Camry, making his appearance. We've not seen a lot of Mr. Drake, so it's good to see him out on track. And Paul Ems continues to make headway as well, now running in 7th. Brady Floyd has begun to close in the gap to Chris Pierce, your leader. Chris in the number 25 Ford Mustang ATBO sponsored car. Currently has been holding on to the lead every single lap from pole position, doing a great job of holding on to it. But as we're able to see, Brady just has a great understanding of his car as he begins to close in. We'll see how long they can keep this battle up. As Rob Carlos got 3rd. Looks like Cloud was just able to edge out Stroop over that one. You can see him. They're really still battling for this. As we see Richard Drake right behind him, starting to close in. I think he might be trying to shoot it 3 this next time if he can. We're going to watch from the inside perspective of the pink breast cancer awareness 921 mobile DJ, number 39, Brandon Field. Jeffrey Belk on his inside. Brett Murphy flying by with his fresher tires. Top up a little bit further forward. We can keep an eye on Richard Drake here. See what he sees. Got the 48, a cloud ahead. Stroop on the bottom. He's got to be careful with this one, especially with Brett Murphy trying to cut his way through. You can see Brady Floyd coming down to the inside of Chris Pierce, trying to make it stick. It's going to be a side-by-side battle for them. Watch that. Almost 3 wide. They're about to shoot it there as Brady Floyd takes the lead from Chris Pierce on lap number 18. That's going to be the first lap sled for another driver here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Wild Cardz 300. Wild Cardz is an amateur paintball team out in Nova Scotia, currently actively recruiting. You can get in contact with Greg Snowgrove on more information for that. And as they say it, they're a bunch of average Joes just trying to have some fun. So that will be Wild Cardz paintball team. We appreciate their sponsor for this race as we continue racing. No cautions have flown yet here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, as we still maintain 30 cars out on track. Daniel currently out of this one. Uh-oh. Looks like we might be having a little bit more connection issues for some of these drivers. Good towards the top. Keep an eye on the map. Rob Carl making his way through, getting the help from Brett Murphy behind. Those two are also not teammates with Adria Esports. Currently a little bit all over the board right now. You can really see those fresh tires beginning to make a difference. We're about halfway through the run here at Charlotte, side by side across the line. Usually by this point, we'd be approaching your usual, maybe quarter way through, maybe 3/4 through a stage, approaching towards it. But right now, we're only halfway through a run and 2 runs for this stage. 200 laps. Only 4 sets of tires. These guys are going to be pushing it non-stop. Matt Stewart once again starting to make it his way through. He was sitting on top of the board in practice. Currently rides just outside the top 10. We're battling with Tyler Hallahan. As Kyle Mundell currently running in 13th with the Movember, number 34, getting his way through. Brandon Fiedler, who was a contender for 3rd and potentially 2nd if he could catch up to Floyd, now down into 10th. I think we're starting to really see that tire wear, and I don't think it's the damage, but just maybe from his collision with Rob Carl. I do doubt it, but that tire wear really beginning to set in. Falls back a little bit further, though. But continually getting good points is the idea. I think that is the main thing that these guys are going to want to try to do. And staying in the top 10 is going to be just that. With that, though, Matt Stewart makes his way through into the 10th as he begins to now try to chase down Jeffrey Belk, who's a bit further ahead in the 55. Richard Drake has cut his way through to the front, able to slice his way around Chris Pierce and now Brady Floyd as they begin to try to chase down Rob Carl, who's starting to really run away. I think Rob is definitely better on these long runs, so we're going to have to see how that plays out with strategy and cautions as time goes on. Now, thankfully, many of our drivers did agree to being allowed to get pulled up during a race. Rob, I do not believe, did. But don't worry, we got plenty of drivers. We'll be doing that a little bit later on here tonight. Will Cloud and Chris Stroop once again fighting for position. Stroop on the bottom, actually getting some help from his teammate of Richard Beasley as well. Will Cloud's trying to throw a block on that one and keep those guys separated so they can't begin to run away. You can see him move him down. Will Cloud able to respond accordingly. Will is pretty good about being an aggressive driver where he needs to be and calming down other times. So we're going to see, oh, as he almost loses it. Coming off of 4 through the quad oval. There it is, the commentator's curse. It's going to be starting here tonight, folks. And I think that's why a lot of drivers didn't want to be agreed to get pulled up in the middle out of nowhere. As Chris Pierce still sticks inside the top 5 with the number 25. He's throwing a block on Chris Stroop there. Not going to be letting those warning track guys in through that easily. Brady Floyd holds on to 3rd. As Richard Jake tries to cut down that gap to the leader, which he was able to do a little bit, but it continues to grow. Rob Carl just with a very good understanding of this racetrack He was a contender for the season championship last season, but he did not get it. So he's going to be doing everything he can to fight once again. Looking at our battle forecast, we can head over to Richard Drake to get a little bit better. There we go. 33 laps, supposedly. We'll see that update this time. Thank you to the Race Insights by Pierce Graphics. 14 laps. You can see that overtake difficulty is extremely high, which is not surprising. But we do know that Richard Drake is a very good driver, and we're going to have to see what he can do as he begins to close in. Let's go and watch from his inside view on his helmet cam and see what he sees. Very closely to those tire sounds. Is him essentially scrubbing the tires and using them as speed. You got to be careful with that, because as you can see, it's allowing him to close in, but too much of it will be continuing to incinerate your tires, and with the runs that you get here at Charlotte, pits will be everything. Also, so far from what we've seen this season, I expect the undercut to be the absolute dominating force here at Charlotte. So round lap number 40 is when everybody will be heading on in. So expect some guys heading in early to get ahead of the game. Make some counts now. Back we have Richard Beasley, who was able to get around Brady Floyd, but Chris Droop was not able to work together with him to get that far ahead. As you can see, the long run is really beginning to take its toll on some of these cars as they continue to fall through the field. So Cody Olsen is also out of this race. All right. Let's head back a little bit through the field once again. Jeffrey Belk now up into 7th, been able to hold on to that and continue to make his way forward. You can really begin to see that long run effect taking in on his car. Was way further down earlier on in this race and has been able to just slowly make his way forward with his race car. Same with Paul Lems. Just a lot of that skill there, able to hold back and attack when you need to. Will Cloud starting to really fall back now. Jumping down a little bit further, we can check in on the 86 of Michael Jones for J&I Racing. Another pink car out here tonight. Cody Snyder right behind. You're able to get a sneak peek at him. Wesley Goodwin, I believe he's the part-time driver for the Great White North Racing team. So Patrick Coluccio sits in 20th. Well, here's a driver we're going to have to get to eventually. It's Jesse Atkinson in the 00 on the outside of Kenny Reel, who I know is not his first race, but we haven't seen him often. It's good to see Kenny yet again as they close into Bryn George, who's way up earlier on in this race, but has fallen back now into 17th. And if you look a little bit closely, you can see the pink bucket on top of Jesse's hood. That it will be a new stream prop, basically, eventually. We'll start working on integrating that. Yes, it is a bright pink bucket. Don't worry about how we're going to do it. We'll figure it out. But the Ader Esports driver, part-time, Jesse Atkinson, running as he can right now. Currently battling for position with a lot of these guys as they try to close up now to Bryn George ahead. Jesse's got it. Good run heading into turn number 3. As Patrick Coluccio and Kenny Reel dice it out. Reel been able to hold on to the bottom so far. Coluccio stuck on the high side, almost skims the wall. You can see a little bit of damage on his right side of his car for the Boneheads Podcast 18. Just doesn't have quite the pace to pull ahead. It's Jesse Atkinson and Bryn George again to really run away. Jesse sticking to the top side. Bryn George hoping to break it up. A little bit further ahead, we can see the 3 Raise Energy of Matt Molavania, potential race winner for this track. Last season, unable to get it and secure it in. But he is here tonight, currently running in 16th. We're going to see how his progression works. Brian Fradian, who started basically at the rear of this field, has now come all the way up to 15th as he closes on his teammate Brandon Fiedler just ahead. Tyler Hallahan started in 3rd and is now down to 13th. But he's been able to hold on to his BCM Chevrolet Camaro and is doing a great job of continuing to run forward. Really, it is a survival game. It's not all outright pace. And I think that is really beginning to show it, where some of these guys are just able to hold in lap after lap, as it seems like pretty close there for Brian Fratien. As they soar around Tyler Hallahan. Somebody we haven't spoken to here tonight, the number 22, Greg Snellgrove. Comfort Plus Chevrolet Camaro, closing in to Kyle Mundell ahead. Looks like there might have been an issue. Richard Beasley takes over from Richard Drake. Battle of the Richards now going to be commencing. That 10 really has built up a lot of speed. As Rob Carl is going to be fighting with Brett Murphy there, who I think is cutting his way through the field as he's still on fresher tires by 5 laps. Makes a difference. It does. Drake looking down to the inside. We can see that that race prediction of passing within 14 laps or so, I don't believe will be coming true, as it definitely appears to be a struggle for Richard Drake. As Rob Carl really shows his dominance here at this track. We're going to see how this progresses throughout the season, honestly. A lot of these drivers we've been seeing all over the board from last season. Some of their top contenders running basically at the rear, and sometimes the other way around. So we're going to have to see how that continues to play out. But Rob Carl, we knew was a strong driver, had his very big on weeks and very big off weeks. Horrible luck last season. So we're going to see how that progresses. Back a little bit, we can see Jesse Atkinson has 16th. Patrick Colucci going to be hitting pit road with Bryn George in the 45. Like I said, it's going to happen. Let's go ahead and bring up our pit board. Those two are the only ones in right now, but we'll see how that changes. Perhaps they're getting a little bit better on fuel economy than they thought. Jeffrey Belk into the wall. Not entirely sure what happened there. I think he was trying to slow down for pit road, missed it. That's not good. Issue for Richard Drake is he's not connected. That's not good. Chris Pierce stays out. Well, he was, and now he's hitting pit road. Rob Carl continues to stay out. He definitely has a lot of confidence in that too. So I'm starting to get a little bit of frame drops there. Yeah, he's definitely doing well on fuel economy. I think he's hoping to make it straight to the very end of his run as long as he can to save on those tires. Essentially going for the overcut strategy as he hits pit road now. Richard Beasley also going to be joining him. Chris Stroop, I imagine, will be doing the same. Same with Matt Stewart and all these guys. See the chaos going down on pit road. Many drivers in the pits, many more to join them. This is an absolute pit stop race. 30 seconds are lost roughly each pit stop. 32, I think the actual math was done. So Wesley Goodwin stays out with the lead. Gonna pull out, race off pit road for these guys. Rob Carl gets it. He's gonna be in second place with Richard Beasley right behind. They're gonna be racing this as soon as they get onto the racetrack. Well, folks, there is your field shakeup. Many drivers in a pretty similar position, but many have fallen back as well as they all continue to roll out pit road. You know, I was thinking about why I was getting those frame drops, and it looks like there's a big cloud of smoke behind my pit lane information board there, which will that will do it. So Wesley Goodwin stays inside the pits. Will Cloud is going to be taking the lead. Got a 3-second lead ahead of Rob Carl. Can he hold on to it for essentially another 40 laps? really 35, but still, that is going to be a long run to try to hold it on for. Looks like this attempted overcut did not go the way that Brady Floyd wanted. I think he had to hit pit road due to speeding, if I see that right. Richard Beasley running in second. He's got Rob Carl behind him. Remember, those positions were reversed when they were leaving pit lane. Beasley was able to get ahead as the sun really begins to set down here at Charlotte. Let's go ahead and interview somebody. If you have anybody in the chat you'd prefer me to interview, please let me know. Also, don't be a stranger to those channel coins. Please use them. Just make it more interesting for me and you, especially in these longer run races. Somebody we have not seen the entire race so far, Wes Gallo in the Helmet Stalker 07. Does not usually run that Helmet Stalker paint scheme. He tries to do it whenever there's a particular reason, but it looks like he just wanted to run it for the season here tonight at Charlotte. With the 18 of Coluccio behind in the 18th position, they're going to continue running laps. Kenny Rios ahead of them in the 11. As Michael Jennings runs in 15. It is absolutely fantastic to see all of these Breast Cancer Awareness Month paint schemes out there. You love to see all the pink out on track. It really does show the support that everyone here does have. You know, there was a big marketing push last time when Will Cloud was still running Chevrolet with his pink scheme, so we'll have to see what we can do and get some more drivers out there for next time. As Chris Pierce begins to really make his way through yet again, passing Brett Murphy. I think he's going to be better on the short runs. Carl still behind Beasley as he's been able to close in extremely fast to Will Cloud ahead. Continuing to be your leader. You can see him right there in the background. This will not take too long. Let's go ahead and jump over to Richard Beasley and see what our battle prediction has to say. How many laps is it going to take? 2. Well, let's see what it updates to this time. But I think it will be a little bit right, as I think Will Cloud only took a few tires instead of all 4. So, supposedly this lap or the next. We're going to have to see what happens. But I have a distinct feeling that Richard Beasley will be making a mad dash to the lead very soon. It is number 10. Warning Track Racing, new team this season. Some drivers new, some old. And we have been seeing them absolutely dominating when it comes to team points so far. They've just had consistent races in and out. I believe they're only getting beat by Adrian right now. And that is just incredible to see 2 new teams battling for it, the team points championship. There we go. As Beasley dives down to the bottom, Will Cloud into the wall. That is going to be giving the lead to the number 10, Richard Beasley. He won at Dover. Can he win here at Charlotte? We've got quite the race left to go to see if that happens. All right. Well, let's go ahead and actually bring somebody up now instead of just mentioning that I can do it. Let's grab Tyler Hallahan. We don't often get to speak to him during the race. Some say that's for good reason, others not. So we're going to see how that goes and what he has to say about tonight's race. Tyler Snowbooth, do you read me?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, but currently you're out there running out on track. This is not something we normally do.
I'm having a pretty good race so far. If I answer these questions wrong, I'm having trouble hearing you because I got my motor sounds too loud. But I started third and I kind of fell back, and now I'm just kind of riding along.
That is one of the biggest parts here at Charlotte, is just being able to survive, especially with a race this long. What's going to be your strategy?
It's pretty much my plan, just to stay in one piece and be there at the end.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Clearly, you're showing some pretty good pace out here tonight. What's your secret?
Just, save your tires. You got to save your tires. That's the most important thing. If you burn your tires up too quick, if you get your temps too high, your car is going to start getting really tight and you won't be able to drive it.
That makes a lot of sense to me, and it's clearly working out so far. I know it's only 12, but still, you have a huge field out here tonight and many points to gain. So, congratulations to you for being able to hold it out, and we're going to have to see how that continues to develop. Who do you have to thank for your race car here tonight?
Thank Greg, all my teammates, all the drivers for coming out, and my sponsor, Blair's Custom Metals.
All right. Well, Tyler, thank you very much for your time, and good luck for the rest of the night.
Thank you.
There we go. Sent Tyler back down to his team. So that is a new thing we can do now, at least for this race. We're going to have to see how they feel about continuing that in the future. It does interrupt their focus and stuff, so we don't try to do it too much. That's why we've held off. But Bryn George up into 11th right now with his number 45 Equipment Geek Racing Toyota Camry for FZ Racing. Threw a block there on the 88 of Hallahan as Brady Floyd continues to try to fight his way back. Currently 3 laps down from the leader. Trying to come back with a lap down from Chris Stroop. I think a lot of these guys ended up having pit road speeding penalties, which is why they're back. 45 miles an hour is the pit road speed at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That is incredibly slow for these cars, so it is not surprising to see a lot of them with speeding penalties. As Beasley and Carl begin to run away yet again, though, Will Cloud holds up third as another Warning Track Racing driver comes up. It's Kyle Mundell, currently sitting in 4th, and Matt Stewart also with Warning Track in 5th. Rob Carl breaking it up with Great White North, sitting in 2nd. Matt Stewart was one of the top drivers in the practice session, and so far it's served out okay for him so far. Anyways, man, struggling with that here tonight. Currently sitting in 5th. Unfortunately, we did lose Richard Drake and Ben McDonnell. So, like I said, we were having some connection issues. It's unfortunate to see these guys go. Matt Stewart, though, was a driver from the Weeg Designs Truck Series. Got recruited into the Cup for this season, and clearly it's an investment paying off for the Warning Track Racing team, as they're going to be going through another points-heavy night if they can continue this performance up. Back a little bit further, someone we've been able to see make some headway here is Wesley Goodwin in the number 24, racing for part-time in Great White North. Was struggling earlier on in this race, but I think with some fresher tires, he's able to hold his own in front of another driver, Kenny Reel. We haven't seen Kenny that much, but when he's here, he's here. Further back, it's Cody Snyder currently running in 19th, closing in on his pseudo teammate of Patrick Coluccio. Snyder races with Equipment Geek Racing and Coluccio with FZ. As they make their headway forward. Brett Murphy still sits at the rear of this field. As he closes into the number 26 of Ashton Riki. Fire prevention number 26. Interesting. To go with the fire instead of the breast cancer awareness. It's an interesting choice. All right. Uh-oh. It's a connection issue for him, though. Still, the 64 Ford Mustang for Ager Esports joined in with this race late, and as you can see, it is not helping him. Sylvan Seguin, we also haven't talked much about him today. Currently sitting in 21st. Wes Gallo is your lead car a lap down. Everybody else on the lead lap. Majority on the lead lap then. But as you can see, Rob Carl is right behind him. So Jesse Atkinson, before this race, does not know this car and track combination at all, essentially, from what I've been told. Has not raced here once, and as you can see, as he's getting coached through by his teammates to continue running laps here at Charlotte, it's working out for him. Currently able to sit in 17th. He's got his Adria Esports Ford Mustang running the best he can. Just off the wall. Let's see how he continues to run. Michael Jennings in the 86, bit of right front damage. That's new to see. Hopefully you can keep that car continuing to run straight as your top three are really beginning to separate. Rob Carl currently sitting in second, over a second back from Richard Beasley, clearly with an absolutely dominating car here at Charlotte in the second half of the stage. Stage lap will be the completion of lap number 80. So as soon as we cross the line on lap 80 for your leader, they will be getting the stage points, and that will have its own playoff implications down the line. But who can stay in this championship? And Beasley basically is already locked in. So we're going to be seeing this continue to develop. And speaking of points, let's go and bring up our championship points so far. Unfortunately, they are not dynamic, but we're working on that. Let's bring that back up to your leader. Brett Murphy currently sits at the top of the board with Rob Carl right behind him. So Adria Esports currently holds 1, 3, and 5 in terms of points. As you can see, everybody else filling in there throughout your top 10. Jeffrey Bugg sitting in 9th with only 100 points, but Brett Murphy with 173 at the top. That just shows how much of a dominating force the 2 wins that Brett has this season really just are. Rob Carl, though, with some good finishes, currently sitting in second. And right now, with his second place he's holding, if he can bring this up to the end, I think he'll be taking away the points lead. Especially as Brian Lorenzo will not be racing with us here tonight, and that is not helpful. Ooh, collision! Coluccio into the wall. No caution flies. Coluccio's okay. He's racing with Cody? No. Interesting. All right, I think that was a different car that he got collided into. Someone on a different lap as he's struggling there, headed down the backstretch. Very loose. All right. Brady Floyd sitting in 5th in points, but 26 out on track. You can see just the, getting caught up behind is going to cost him a lot of points. But if he can get back up onto the lead lap, which will be a stretch as so far he's down. But if he can, he'll be competitive. Advancing a little bit more in the points, we can see Paul M's currently sitting in 11th. Will Cloud with his win only 1 point behind. I think Will, with so far, he's starting to really feel that mojo come back. And if he can get another podium finish here tonight, he'll be continuing on with this season strong. We have a very long schedule this season, so just one race being a struggle is not bad. It's the start of the season that I know Equipment Geek and FZ have had that is having them concerned. But they might be on their upswing, finally. We saw that last week with Will Cloud taking the win in Bristol. Part-time driver Chris Pierce has been known to set some blistering qualifying and really leading the start of these races. He did the same at Pocono with incredible speed, but just something happens later on where his luck just sends him further back. But certainly sitting in 10th place is not bad, so we'll see how this continues to develop here at this race. Something I hate that I have to keep on saying, but there's just, this race is so long. It really will be like that. Real makes the pass on Michael Jennings for the position. Looks like Rob Carl's finally caught up to Beasley ahead. These two are going to be having an intense fight. Whoa! Looks like old tires for Beasley are really beginning to catch up with him. 7 laps to go here in the stage. Rob Carl takes the lead. You can see just how loose that rear end is on the TCM Warning Truck Racing 10 car. It's follow along on his inside view, his helmet cam, to see what that is like if he continues to hold on to it. A little bit loose there, coming off of 2. It is bumpy off of turn 2. But he's able to hold it this time. Looking down to the inside on Carl. It's gonna be a close one. Ooh, almost loses it again off of 4, running through the quad oval. These cars are barely hanging on by a thread. Those tires, I can only imagine, are on the verge of popping. More due to temperature than wear. But still, this is a long run for these cars, and it is showing as they battle side by side, continuing on. Can Beasley, who has basically dominated the second half of this stage, get the lead back from Rob Carl, who had it in the first half? I think he might be able to as he skims the grass a little bit on the bottom. A battle between Warning Track Racing and Great White North. Beasley makes the pass. Oh, look at that slide he had off of turn 2. Carl takes the bottom yet again. Across the line, it's going to be 3 to go, I believe. Well, collision of 80, we'll see. Anyway. Carl still has the bottom with that speed. It looks like the bottom is the meta right now for getting to the end of this. It just eats up more of your tires, which is something Beasley cannot afford. Kyle Mundell currently holding on to 3rd place. I think Will Cloud might have had an issue as Matt Stewart also goes by for 4th. Currently, Warning Track is sitting 2, 3, 4. Rob Carl still has the lead as we're on lap 77. It is a hot night here at Charlotte, 77 degrees. Well, I'll say hot, sometimes it's not that hot. But as the track temperature continues to drop, these cars will be getting faster at the end of this stage. But Rob Carl, I think, will have it as he's starting to begin to expand that gap. How is Michael Jennings, a lapped car, going to influence this? The 86 stays up to the high side. Skimming the wall for him, does not want to interfere with the battle for the race lead, but he will be, whether he wants to or not, as he stays to the high side. Carl's going to be using him as a roadblock. Jennings, once again, choosing to stick to the high side, will be allowing Richard Beasley to take the bottom, but you can see how unstable it is. Very close for the 10 and the... I believe this will be it. As we come up to lap 80, Rob Carl absolutely, I think, will have it. He just has the better cornering capacity at the moment with those tires. He's got better tire wear. He's just got it. As we go on to lap 80, this will be it. And we will call the yellow at the completion of this lap. That will be your race stage. And based on the gap increasing, whoa, another big slide there out of Richard Beasley. Great White North coming back. Rob Carl with his speed. We know the luck he's had previously, but he almost made it to the championship last season. Is this hope for this season? As across the line, Rob Carl will be taking the stage win. Caution flies. All right. Well, here comes the infamous words. Cautions breed cautions. How will the stage influence this with cold tires on a colder track? As the sun begins to set here in Charlotte. The last car on the lead lap will be the 16th position 00 of Jesse Atkinson. Well, with no time to spare, because we want to get as many people in here as we can, make it interesting, let's go ahead and grab Rob Carl. Rob is on the booth. Do you read me?
Hey, Noah.
Well, you just got your stage win. How does that feel?
Oh, man, it feels good, especially after what happened at Bristol last week.
Understandable. I was just saying the luck that you've been having last season, but you finally made it to the Final Four that time. Do you think that is a championship you hope you have this season?
I hope so. There's a lot of good drivers in here, so it's pretty competitive. Hard to tell. I don't want to say anything. It's good competition.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Definitely has been a very strong field. I mean, who's your biggest worry, do you think?
How much time you got? There's a handful. There's a lot of them.
I'm sure. Warner Track Racing, I know, has been giving you guys a lot to worry about.
Yeah, they're new this year, and they've really made a good impression.
Absolutely. Well, Rob, thank you very much for your time. What is going to be your strategy heading forward before we let you go?
Same thing as I'm doing. I don't know what that is, but I'm not changing.
All right. Thank you once again for your time, Rob, and good luck.
Thanks.
Let's go and take care of Rob here, get him back down to his team. All right. He was able to secure the stage win. Be starting up here. Let's go and interview somebody else. Of course, if you have somebody out in the chat you would like to have brought up, please let me know. And thank you very much for following. I believe that is a colleague. Thank you. I certainly do appreciate it, and welcome to the Forkload Media family. Well, let's make tonight interesting, and we're going to grab the 00 of Jesse Atkinson. Jesse, it's no the booth. Do you read me?
No.
Okay. Well, welcome up to the booth. I believe it's your first time this season?
Hi, yes. Well, under caution, yes.
Under caution, okay.
Do you not remember the Daytona third place? Come on.
No, because I can't remember anyone's positions.
Oh.
Well, currently you're sitting in 17th.
No.
Yeah?
It says 15th.
I'm glad that we have this difference in... All right. Well, you're currently sitting wherever you are with your new car this race.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any words you want to say at all?
I believe I should be up in the front, but this bucket is giving me some aerodynamic drag.
Ah, okay. That way, it's my fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we put the bucket to where the opening was forward, so the air has nowhere to go.
Great. Well, I was told that you basically have no experience with this car and track combination, but so far you've been able to hold on to your car quite well, and yes, I am seeing 15th now.
There is about 5 voices in my head right now. What did you say?
You know what? If you're having a tough time, we'll let you go. Jesse, thank you for your time and good luck.
Thanks.
You always makes it interesting. All right. Jesse Atkinson's going to be in 15th. He's right. So 17th on my end. But that's just me. Okay, let's interview somebody else. Just get more people up here in the booth. Commentator's curse. Who can I curse today? I know a lot of these guys are very apprehensive being brought up sometimes because of that, but someone we have not spoken to in a while will be Wes Gallo. Let's go ahead and get him up here and see what his thoughts are tonight. Wes, it's not the booth. Do you read me?
Sure do. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right, but right now you've been having quite the race, it seems.
Yeah, I messed myself up getting going, and my race has just been chasing my tail ever since. Yeah, not my proudest moment.
I understand. Well, I mean, you're out here with the helmet stalker paint. That's new.
Yeah, we try to break it out once or twice a season. They're a big part of the life, so I don't really like, just in case anything goes wrong, don't like putting it on the car. Don't want to give them bad pub, but give them occasional little bit of love.
Makes a lot of sense to me. But your car is looking in good condition at least, and that's a plus, as we get to see the fantastic paint schemes you out there with Weeg Designs.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, got the shiny number, a little matte on red. The way it came out, hopefully the numbers look fine.
You do on my end at least, which is good to see. Well, I want to thank you for your time. Who do you think for your race car before I let you go?
Helmet Stalkers on the hood this week. Let's go Weeg Designs and everyone at EGR and obviously you.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Wes, and good luck.
Of course. Thanks. See you, bud.
07 Wes Gallo just took his pit stop there so that he can be competitive throughout the race. Coming up to just top off on fuel is a valid strategy that has to be done sometimes. Sometimes you want to sacrifice that little bit extra just to make sure you have just that little bit more fuel. Rob Carl, though, will be bringing us to the green flag with Richard Beasley alongside in the 10. Will Cloud will be starting in 3rd with Matt Stewart in 4th. The Arsenicom Motorsport Simulation pace car pulls down pit lane. As we approach the Geico restart zone, it's green flag. As we complete the first lap under green yet again, we see a lot of very intense racing throughout the field, particularly around the 5th to 6th position range. Paul Ems holds on to 5th, leading up that pack. He has got Chris Pierce right behind him, Bryn George and Kyle Mendel all right there. Bryn George's got the bottom on Chris Pierce. Can you wrap it around? He's got fresher tires. I shouldn't say fresh tires. They're all on fresh tires, so that bottom line is viable. Be careful not to use it up too much, though, as your tires will hate you later on. But Bryn got it. He's currently sitting in 5th position now. Let's continue to fight their way forward. Tyler Hallahan currently battling for 10th position with Kenny Reel and Wesley Goodwin. Looks like Wes is almost thinking of shooting it 3 wide there. Hallahan stuck on the high side. Reel's got it on the bottom. Just waiting for these guys to all settle in before the real big battles begin to break out. Will Cloud battles for the lead up to 10th. Not 10th, 1st. 48 Pierce Graphics Toyota Camry for FZ Racing has proven very competitive so far this season. As Rob Carl tries to chase him down, we're going to see how that continues to develop. As we saw earlier on, Will had a much better short run than a long run, but he's got to be careful not to kill that paint. And as you can see there, coming off the banking, hitting that just a little bit less traction surface, sent the rear almost around. But further back, we see Matt Stewart running in 4th. He's got Bryn George right behind him with Richard Beasley ahead. Warning track. He's currently trying to do what they can to stick together, but Kyle Mendel has fallen back. Back a little bit further in the field, we can take a peek at Greg Snowgrove, currently sitting in 9th. Going to bring up the tail end of your lead pack here as Richard Beasley tries to make a pass. He does. He makes the pass stick for 2nd. Rob Carl down to 3rd. Can Beasley get around Cloud? Coming in, closes up real tight to that bumper. Looks down to the bottom. Does he take it in 3? I think he will. Cloud stuck up on the high side with the fresh tires. I mean, he can run the line, but it won't be as fast. It's going to be close as they come off, and it looks like a great run on the high side going to be for Will Cloud as he leads another lap, but I think he's going to have to surrender it very soon to the bottom line speed. Rob Carl not going to give up a chance to get more positions right into the bottom. Matt Stewart hoping to close in as well. Bryn George also looking to capitalize, runs the bottom. Ooh, side by side, running off of 4. Look at the run Will Cloud is able to get coming off it. He just has that little bit more speed, and it's using up a little bit less of his tires overall, but that right front will not be happy with it. Coming down to lead off of turn 2. He's got it. Will Cloud able to hold on to the lead, was able to stay ahead of Richard Beasley. A very impressive drive out of those two. A lot of speed built up. Paul Ems, I think, is starting to see the potential gains. He's looking to run the high side. can see them all starting to migrate up towards the top. It looks like they're trying to dime in the corner right now. As they run a bit further back, they're running more towards the high side. Kenny reel up on the high side, but that gives Wesley Goodwin a gap on the bottom, and they're going to be side by side down the backstretch. Matt Stewart showing his prowess, still in 4th position with the 7 car. Closing into Rob Carl ahead. He's got Bryn George behind him. Bryn was way down earlier in this race, but it looks like he's been able to make a strong recovery up to 5th. That 45 team has had a very interesting last couple of races. We're going to see how that continues to develop. Comes down to the bottom on Stewart, trying to be aggressive, hold on to the positions early and throw blocks late. It is a valid strategy that you have to do sometimes depending on your driving style. He's not able to make the pass, though. To only be hurting him down the line with the tire wear. It's giving Chris Pierce an opportunity to really close up, though. Looking to break into the top 5. Pierce is clearly showing a lot of pace throughout this race. Oh, and they slide down to the bottom. Coming back up the track into Kyle McCaution flies. Well, we saw that one happen, but we're going to be rewinding it again to get some new angles on that. Not entirely sure what caused them to send them down. George and Stewart. All right. We'll be right back and take a peek and see what brought it out between those two. Okay, we return here. Bryn George has the bottom. They leave turn 2, heading down the long backstretch here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Bryn George gets into the rear quarter panel. I think it's what's happening. Yeah, he closes up a little bit. Looks like staying up the high side. A lot slower there, coming from Brett Murphy, I think that is. But he wasn't really a factor. And that sends them just both down the racetrack. George comes back up. Oh, and they just get into Mundell. Just enough. Caution was out by that point. Everybody could see it start begin slowing down. I do believe everyone else was able to make it out okay. Wesley Goodwin, a lot of speed rejoining the track. Same with Snellgrove. Looks like Fradian's able to survive that one and not get into trouble. That's a tight one and a close one for many of them. I'm sure of which they did not want to have happen. Well, that was your caution. We'll be right back and get some interviews in. Okay, Will Cloud with the lead. He headed down the backstretch at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's go ahead and get an interview for him. It's also easy to grab. Will Snow the Booth, do you read me?
I got a copy.
Well, you won last race, and it looks like tonight will be a very interesting night for you.
Yeah, I mean, so far I've had a good speed. I just struggle a lot on the long runs, so I'm still trying to figure out how to save my tires better. But I mean, the short run speed's there. I was able to take the lead, but I just got to figure out late run. It should definitely be exciting though, because I mean, we aren't even halfway there, and there's still a lot to deal with.
There absolutely is. What's going to be your game plan headed forward?
Honestly, I know I stayed out here. I know some people came in the top off. I don't know if anyone took tires. So, to be honest, I really don't know what to do because there's just so many different strategies. And as the run develops and I get closer to my fuel window, I'll think of something.
It makes a lot of sense to me. Sometimes the best strategy really is to just wing it. I know it worked out well for you last week.
Yeah, I mean, last week I really didn't have a strategy. I decided to pit for my tires that originally got me up to the lead, like right as we were coming up to the pit cone or whatever. So just winging it, and hopefully it's going to work again.
All right. Well, before I let you go, is there anyone I want to thank for your race car here tonight?
Just the guys at EG and FC. I mean, always working hard and giving tips here and there and just being the best guys there are out there.
All right. Well, Will, thank you very much for your time yet again, and good luck here tonight.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Number 48, Will Cloud for FZ Racing, going to be bringing us to the green flag. Chooses not to hit pit road. Many drivers did choose to, as he did say. It's been giving them some more fuel down the line. Let's go and interview to somebody else. Let's grab, just because I know it'll make him a bit angry, Paul Ems in the number 28. It's good to give these guys a little bit of a warm-up sometimes, just to get the commentator curse juices flowing. Paul's on the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. It's good to speak to you. Currently, you're sitting in 5th position, I believe. How does that feel?
It feels great, but I'm really regretting my decision not to pit there. I think that was the right call, and I might have screwed that up, but we're going to find out.
We certainly will, and that will be all of tonight is just constant strategy calls. How are you going to manage that game plan?
Well, here on out, it's just managed tires. The rest of the team's on a different strategy, so I don't know. Either theirs is going to work or mine is. So, like I said, we'll find out here. But car feels really good, so we'll see.
All right. Looks like you're certainly doing well. What's going to be your secret?
Just managing tires. I mean, people like to run hard here out the gates, and it's all about saving tires. So I'm gonna keep my pace and kind of do my thing here.
All right. Well, Paul, thank you very much for your time. Is there anyone you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, just shout out to the team, Greg especially. We put in some practice. They gave me some pointers that turned out to help pretty good. So thanks to Greg.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time yet again, and good luck here tonight.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Number 28, Paul Ems for Great White North. Going to be starting 5th here on this next start with his blue and white Valvoline Pro. Got Brandon Fiedler alongside. Once again, is a good time to thank Cardz paintball team for sponsoring this race. They are an amateur paintball team out in Nova Scotia, currently actively recruiting. They call themselves a bunch of average Joes that are just looking to have a good time. So, yes, thank you to Cardz for sponsoring this race. As the Irons.com Motorsport Simulations pace car rolls down pit lane for this restart, and Will Cloud brings us to the Geico Restart Zone's green flag. Good start out of Cloud. Pierce Graphics also starting to make some moves. The Pierce Graphics number 25 ATVO machine. Kyle Mundell to deal with, though. Another good run from Kyle. He's got a lot of speed built up in that. Keep in mind, Kyle Mundell has not won a race here in the CASCAR Sugar Plumbing Cup Series, which is impossible to believe, honestly. Just has the worst luck, really. But we know that he is fast, and clearly tonight is showing that he will be a viable contender and a good points bringer for... No, that's the wrong team. Sorry. Warning Track Racing. A lot of teams this season, which is great to see. Makes it all that much more interesting when it comes to the team championship. Adria Esports currently leads that with Warning Track right on their tail. Equipment Geek and FC not far behind. Speaking of EG, we have Brandon Fiedler there tailing Chris Pierce with Great White North's Rob Carl starting to make headway through, currently running in 6th. We see Richard Beasley able to close up to Will Cloud. He made a lot of gains there as he takes the bottom. Can this be early enough in the run to make the pass? I think it will. He's clear. There it is. Richard Beasley takes the lead away from Will Cloud. And he's got Kyle Mundell right behind him. So this will be a Warning Track 1-2 if they can make it work. Will Cloud, though, will not be giving up that lead without a fight. He will at least be hoping to get a podium here. So he's going to be hanging on. Still, we have just basically completed the halfway point in this race. So I got to give a huge thank you to you, the audience, for sticking around so far. We got a long race left to go. Kyle Mundell sits in 3rd, Chris Pierce behind. Let's go ahead and jump back a little bit further in our racing line. We got Tyler Hallahan currently sitting in 11th position, trying to close up to Wesley Goodwin ahead. He's got Jeffrey Bell behind him with Brady Floyd that a little bit further back, but Brady is all the way down into 26th. Well, that's one advantage Brady does have if he's not able to really contend for the race win because of how many laps he is down. Well, why not just put the pedal to the metal and figure it out? Pascal currently your lead car a lap down, currently sitting in 20th as Michael Jennings ahead in 19th. Sits as your last car. Snellgrove and Stewart fighting into turn 3. Snellgrove appears to really have it down as Goodwin on the outside of Stewart holds onto it, closes in a little bit. He's got Brady Floyd behind him for a little bit of air push, and that is going to be Goodwin around as well. Matt Stewart rounds out your top 10. Tyler Hallahan begins to close in. Can Hallahan get a good run here and get by him? We're going to have to see. Catching up to your leaders, though. We're going to be seeing Beasley still has the lead, but Cloud is right there behind him. He's looking for maybe a pass, but I think he's really trying to block Kyle Mundell more. One thing that Kyle Mundell has to be very careful of is not getting too much in the way of Will Cloud, because if he does, that's going to open the door for Chris Pierce to slip through and get to the podium. That is a tricky spot to be in, third place, because you just have a chain of cars right behind you with basically no protection. All of them going to be right there snapping at you. But he's also got a car in front that he cannot let go. Thank you very much for the follow, Deer Ridge 132. Welcome to the foreclosed radio. Brady Floyd continues to push forward, like I said, all the way down in 26. Just running what he can. Coming up a little bit further in our lineup, let's go and take a peek at Michael Sparks. We have not seen him all race today. I don't recall even seeing him once. So here he is, number 42. The Zognet car. It's always great to see Michael Sparks racing out here. He was able to race last season, and it's just one of those drivers that helps bring some more personality to the league. You know, it's good to see him here. Ashton Reeky behind him in the 26 fire safety. A bit further forward, we're starting to see some more battles for position as Brandon Fiedler loses these places. Paul M's down to the inside, trying to cut his way back up to 5th. Did not have the start he wanted, but I think as he's tailing his teammate of Rob Carl, that will be helping him as they continue to roll forward. They try to close up to the leaders ahead. We're starting to see Brett Murphy currently running last of the running cars in 27th. Adria Esports not having the night they want, but they are really starting to get in the way of this race. Murphy on the inside of Pierce as Floyd has split Mundell from Cloud. How will this affect your leaders? It's giving Will Cloud a bit of a chance to close back into Beasley. Cloud going down to the bottom with no help. Brady Floyd staying up to the high side. While the draft may only be in short spurts here at Charlotte, it really does make all the difference. So trying to get a little bit more of that assistance down the backstretch or even through the quad oval is really going to be key. But it looks like Kyle Mundell is going to be moving up to the high side. Brett Murphy moves down to the bottom. Very close for those drivers there. Murphy coming in to go maybe try to shoot it 3 wide if Will puts it in the middle. Floyd blocking Cloud. Murphy closing into that rear bumper, starting to create a sandwich situation here. I said that this would be a thing we're starting to see. We're going to see if this causes a wreck. We saw it a lot at the shootout earlier this season at Daytona. Brett Murphy's right there on that bumper. When these cars get really close together, it sends that middle car as the most dangerous one. Bouncing up to the high side. Murphy down on the bottom as he gets through. And that's now a car that Will Cloud has lost as a buffer, as Kyle Mundell is going to be snapping at Cloud's heels. Richard Beasley, though, while he doesn't have to worry, he's got a 2-car buffer to second place. He's still got 2 cars not on the lead lap that are showing to be very fast to contend with. This will not be a walk in the park for the 10 team. A big battle for position here. Wesley Goodwin got the position across the line, but Jeffrey Belt closes in and is able to rocket by on the bottom. He's got it. Halhan moving down to the bottom as well, trying to steal it away. Wasn't able to quite get it that time as Halhan rides in 12th. Whoa! Wrecking down the backstretch. No caution has flown. Oh, there. We're going to get one from that. Why can't I snap to it? There it is. Kenny Reel. Absolutely unfortunate. We saw that. Some car damage as well. We'll be right back and see what caused that. I can already hear the tensions flaring between these drivers, as that definitely looks like Wes Gallo came up the track, collided into the 11 as they try to slow it down. Gallo heading straight up. Kenny, I think, just loses control of the car enough as he tries to keep it steady. Can't quite do it. Slides up the track into the wall, collects Malavagna. Not that bad, at least, for him. Looks like Snyder is able to get around. Well, this is a good segue to bring up the fast repair situation. This is the last race with a fast repair here in the CASCAR Shorter Fleming Cup Series. Beyond this point, they will be gone. So if you get in a wreck now, now's the time to thank everything that you have one, because you will not have it next week. So that's going to be a tough one. And next week actually will be Talladega Super Speedway. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay, as we catch up to real time, McLeod going to be taking the lead yet again off of pit road. Fantastic stop for him. All right. Who do we interview? We already got Tyler Halhan. Kyle Mundell. We have not given him a lot of interview chances so far this season, so let's go ahead and give him one in the number 34. Kyle's in the booth. Do you read me? Well, I'm doing pretty well, but right now you've been having one crazy race all over the place from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic. Like it feels like, at least I don't know what it looks like from up there, but started mid-pack, which was kind of terrifying. Just went on cruise control. Had a great pit stop, spit me out 6th, I think, and then just kind of, because I was in later than others up front, slowly picked them off to finish 3rd in the stage, and then had optionals, so I figured rather take them than burn a fast repair, so I kind of fell back to like 11th again to start the stage. And then I have no idea what happened to Bryn and Matt. We'll have to watch that back, but put me into 4th, made a pass to go 3rd, and then still 3rd.
Yeah. Well, here you are up towards the front. What's going to be your game plan?
Oh, it's actually going to be very scary because I think we're right on the brink of making it on one more stop. We only have one more set of tires. So like I might just start like lifting a lot earlier to ensure we make it to the end. And if there's green white checkers, that's what I was saying as you came in. I don't know if you heard anything, but if there's green white checkers, it could be like force our hand to pit again just for fuel. So I don't know. I'm just gonna try and stay up here with Beasley. He's kind of showing us the way, and then hopefully just nail the pit stops again. If there's another green flag, would be nice.
All right. Well, it certainly makes a lot of sense to me. You've got quite the race ahead of you. Who do you have to thank for your race car here tonight?
Oh, thank iRacing for letting us do it, and Greg and CASCAR, building the league, Shorters Plumbing for sponsoring the series, and then Movember, Sharon, and especially my teammates at Warning Track, Beasley, Stroop, and Matt. Unfortunately, Stroop had a penalty after the first green flag stop, but I think Matt's still up here with us, so we're looking good today.
All right. Well, thank you for your time once again, and good luck here tonight.
Yeah, and thank you, Noah, for broadcasting.
Number 34, Kyle Mundell. Going to be starting here in third. Fantastic position for him to be going with as Will Cloud takes the lead yet again on the start. Hallahan in fourth. Good pit stops for these guys is going to be allowing them to make it to the end. Well, potentially to the end after their next pit stop. And that will be a tricky one to figure out. So, as Kyle did say, this is the point where we are expecting these guys to be going down pit road. So, if they haven't already, well, they just did, then we are in a very interesting spot to see what their strategy calls are going to be. All right. So, we got your field here at Charlotte. Wild Cardz is the sponsor of this race. They're an amateur paintball team over in Nova Scotia. You can get in contact with Greg Snellgrove for more information on joining them. And of course, a massive thank you to Shorter Plumbing. More on them in a few minutes. The Arsenal.com Motorsport Simulation pace car rolls down pit lane, and it's going to be Will Cloud yet again taking us to the green flag in the Geico restart zone. Good start for some of these guys further down the line. Multiple lane is definitely the racing we are seeing here tonight. It is not just a single car train. They are all over the road, and you can see that clearly, which is great. Leading up this second pack, it's Jeffrey Belk. He's got Hallahan and Fradienne behind him. Brian Fradienne we have not seen a lot of so far this race. Started at the rear, been able to make his way forward, now into the top 10. He's been making steady progress forward. We'll see how that lasts. So catch up to your leaders. It looks like that battle is beginning to heat up just a little bit more. Will Cloud hangs on to the lead. These short runs are really helping him out as Kyle Mundell tries to push Richard Beasley to catch up to Cloud. Pierce on the bottom of M's making the pass. Ooh, slides up just right between them. Seeing Fiedler yet again making his way forward. Good block from Chris Pierce on M's. Fiedler holds down to the bottom, not letting M's in. We're seeing very intense racing right now, keeping all these cars at bay. It is a challenge to hold onto your position here at Charlotte. Just skim the wall for Fiedler, I believe. As they rocket down below Rock Carl. Beasley begins to close into Cloud yet again. Let's go and bring up our battle forecast and see how that is going. 75 laps. I expect that to change this time. Let's see. There we go. Zero pace. I think we're going to see Beasley get a potential overtake opportunity coming up soon. We're going to have to see. Still a very competitive race for many of our drivers out here tonight. Chris Pierce back up into fourth. Paul Ems is holding on to that fifth the best he can, holding off Brandon Fiedler. Speaking of Brandon Fiedler, he's got 921 on the car. We've also seen Schroeder Plumbing on his car before. And Shorter Plumbing is the sponsor of our entire series. I have not talked about them enough so far this race, and I certainly do apologize for that. But Shorter Plumbing is a family-run company that's been in business for over 50 years in the southeastern Wisconsin area. They specialize in residential new construction and remodeling plumbing services. They also work with several local builders, or they will work with those hoping to build their own dream home or do their own remodeling. You give them a call to their office number, 262-971-0401. That number, once again, is 262-971-0401, Shorter Plumbing. As the gap between your leaders remains pretty consistent, we're going to have to check back in with them later. As we head down the line. Currently, the last car on the lead lap is Michael Sparks. He's not with the pack. But the lead car a lap down is Chris Stroop, also not with the pack. And he is just a lap down. Same with Ashton Reiki. But unfortunately, Brady Floyd and Brett Murphy are 2 and 6 laps down, respectively. It is unlikely they're going to come back from that race. Hallahan makes a move on Jesse Atkinson, trying to stay in the top 20. Side by side, they are down the backstretch. You can see with the lights on at the track, temperatures will be dropping. Easy closes in a little bit more. It's going to bring up our weather here tonight. See track temperatures down a few degrees. So we get our driver headshots of the night. You can see Kyle Mendel in third there. They approach on Ashton Reiki, currently in 26th position. 25th, sorry. Michael Jennings, the next car, currently sitting in 15th. And Greg Snellgrove, keeping that car running. Jennings is doing pretty well here tonight. JLNL Racing, Mark LaPierre not here. The other car in JNL Racing is Matthew Malavagna, currently sitting right now in 17th. And on him, we can see he's coming with this pack here. So Greg Snellgrove ahead of him and his team boss ahead of him. Snellgrove looks down to the bottom to try to make a pass. Malavagna joins him. Just doesn't have the pace, he's a bit too far back. Down to the bottom, it's going to be for your leaders getting around Ashton Reiki, the next lap car. That would put him 2 laps down. Chris Stroop's your lucky dog. Brandon Fiedler sits in 5th position with Rob Carl right behind. Fiedler's going to go block the bottom, not going to be letting Carl through. See Paul M's running in 7th. He's got Brian Fradian right behind him. And Jeffrey Belk also snapping at the heels. Making the pass. He's got the car length ahead, but it's just not quite enough. Especially as Brandon Fiedler gets a better run down the backstretch. We're going to see how that plays out through the quad oval. I think with the high side, Fiedler is going to be able to get a bit more of a run. But look at the speed that Rob Carl is able to carry on the bottom. And that will be throwing a block there for Fiedler and not letting him through easily. Fradian also making a move on the bottom. He's got it 7th position. Catch up. Will Cloud is actually beginning to run away a little bit from Richard Beasley here. We're going to keep checking in on them, see how that continues to develop. As Chris Pierce runs in 4th position, has been able to hold on to a top car position here tonight. I think his strategy of backing off, that was his main problem he said he's been having, is really proving out well for him so far. All right, going further back, we see Patrick Coluccio currently running in 14th position as he's pushing Kenny Reel. Down the backstretch, Kenny with the Denny Hamlin FedEx paint. sixth and 13th. They approach Wesley Goodwin, though. You can see the gap they have. Let's go and bring up the battle forecast and see how long it's going to take to get a pass. Check back in on that later, but we are seeing some time reduction between the two, and I think that big push that Coluccio is doing on Real is actually helping. Down to the bottom he goes. He doesn't quite have the pace for it, though. Goes back up the track, unable to do it. Coluccio swipes into the bottom, though, to steal the position away. Patrick Coluccio to 13th. Checking a bit further back, we can see Sylvan Seguin here, currently running 22nd by himself. Got Wes Gallo ahead of him, tailing behind Jesse Atkinson in the 00. That forward nose apparently not helping him. So there's a massive opening, supposedly the bucket, but I don't think so. Cody Snyder currently running in 18th position. HKS Toyota Camry. We're going to keep racing. Big battle here between the 28 of Ems and the 55 of Belk. Across the line, these two have not been letting it easy on each other. These two have been very similarly paced all race. Matt Stewart behind them, hoping to get an opportunity to swipe his way through, just doesn't have it yet. Richard Beasley made a pass for the lead while we were away. Will Cloud in second. Kyle Mandel further back, though, still running in third. Can Beasley keep up the blocks? That is going to be the question I have to pose, and I think it will be a tricky one. We know that Will has been struggling on these longer runs, but based on the strategy I think we're going to be seeing here tonight, this will be giving an advantage to Cloud, who's going to have an opportunity for a shorter run if the fuel strategy works out. Brett Murphy going to be hitting pit road. See Craig Snowgrove here running in 13th with his 22 Comfort Plus Chevrolet Camaro with Great White North Racing. Big issue there we saw there for Sylvan Seguin. I think he wasn't leaving the pits, but almost lost it in two. Pass on Goodwin for Snellgrove. Those guys are teammates, I believe. Goodwin running for Great White North. Paul M's currently rounding out your 10th place position, but he's got Bryn George hot in his heels. Matzer was able to get around. Jeffrey Belk and 8th been able to close up to your cars up ahead. Look at the teamwork we're getting to see here. Seeing Brandon Fielder push Brian Fradian. Really trying to get these guys further ahead to catch up to your leaders. Whoa. Connection issues once again for some of these drivers. Will Cloud losing time to Beasley ahead. Kyle Mundell hoping to capitalize. You can see him already beginning to plan that pass out. 6 laps supposedly from our race insight. Let's go and check that again when we cross the start-finish line. I have a feeling that will be going down. Chris Pierce hot on the heels of the 34. 4 laps. We'll see. Cloud trying to dime in those corners, not surrender the position. Got a little bit of a good run that time. But I think it won't be enough. Chris Stroop trying to make his way forward. A bit further back, going to be helping on his teammate maybe, but that would almost look like a block from Kyle Mandel, not to let Stroop through. So it would be a very interesting choice to make with your teammate. All right. as we see here. Stroop not quite given the help, and that's going to allow Cloud to begin to move away a little bit, and now that is going to be providing the rest of your field to fall back further away from your leader, Richard Beasley. Let's go and watch the inside car view of the 25 and see what he's seeing here from his helmet cam at Charlotte. Wes Gallo on newer tires going to be cutting his way through. Chris running the bottom, hoping to get third. Ooh, I think he's taking it. Kyle Mundell skims the wall. All right. Continuing to be a very intense run for your drivers here tonight. Will Cloud has second still, but Chris Pierce stole third. Richard Beasley still running away with the lead. Will Cloud in second. Ooh, you can see some real tension starting to flare. Good run out of Chris Pierce. Moving to the high side, Chris Pierce trying to take it away. Brady Floyd shoots it 3 wide. No Brady with the fresh tires is really hoping to chop his way through, and he's doing it. Same with Brett. I think they're really trying to make this race interesting. That's all they can do at this point. Kyle Mundell hoping for an opportunity to strike. Rob Carl sitting in 5th, not far back. Block being thrown there. These guys are not teammates. Doesn't matter, they both run Chevrolets. He lets Carl through into 4th. 50 laps to go this time across the line. Will Cloud hangs on to the podium position, but Chris Pierce begins to run away from this pack. Brett Murphy trying to make his way through, forces it 3 wide again. Closes up to Will Cloud. I think there was a small collision between them. There it is. Goodbye, Brett Murphy with the fresh tires. Heading over to Chris Pierce. Let's see what our battle forecast says. 4 laps. Supposedly he'll be able to get Richard Beasley. We're going to see about that one. We've seen a lot of strong performances out of Beasley this race. But clearly Chris is definitely having a lot of speed built up in that 25 car. 3 laps. It's confident. Let's see what our race insights say, if they're correct. Rob Carl got around Will Cloud. Will struggling on these longer runs. They're going to have to pit soon. Are they trying to hold out to the end of the race and have a spare set of tires to make it to the end if there is a green-white checker? Battle for 4th, between Cloud and Mundell. Mundell with the bottom, I think, yep, he's got it. Just got that one. Up in his car. Great blocking run by Cloud, but just didn't have the tires to keep running with it. Richard Beasley must be getting a little bit of pressure right now. He knows Chris Pierce is closing in from behind. That gap between them absolutely dropping. The 25 Ford Mustang of Chris Pierce coming in hot. Tries to stick it to the high side. Can he do it? He's going to lose some time that way. Can he reel? Oh, sideways on the front stretch. Caution still not flying. What's happening? Oh, absolutely obliterated. Caution still not. There it is. Caution flies. What happened? We will be right back. Okay, we have your incident here. Let's review. Following along with the 11 of Kenny Real and the 18 of Coluccio. Heading down off of turn 4. Kenny looks like he's starting to lose that rear end. Coluccio almost hits the wall, turns down, spins him. Sparks collides into the 18, sending him down. But Kenny is just reversing on the track unintentionally. Comes up, people taking the bottom lane. Kenny slides out, pauses. We were here for a while. Did he lose his engine? What happened? Because, yeah, he just paused here for quite a while. And we can see, oh no, Chris Stroop just comes up, doesn't clear him, collects him, slams into Westgallo after that one too. Sending them both also into a very unfortunate spin. And that's going to be sending Real down. Can Brady Floyd avoid? Barely. Stroop slides up to hit the wall, and Gallo stays down. Does he recover? No. No, he does not. Into the wall for the 07 too. Unfortunate to see. A break for Beasley, though, not allowing Chris Pierce to get by him. We will be right back. Yeah, I can see that is very frustrating. Unfortunate, really. All right, we rejoin. Richard Beasley has the lead. Tried getting the car to the top and clear, and couldn't get it pit fast enough. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, we're starting to see our drivers hit pit road. Let's go and bring up our pit panel. Will Cloud chooses to stay out, unless he pit in earlier. Took a penalty. But, interesting. All right. Rob Carl going to be leading this, basically. His position also choosing to stay out this time. As Adria goes 3 wide under yellow. All right. Okay. Let us go ahead and interview somebody else. Let's interview Matt Stewart. He's had quite the race here today. Let's get his perspective on it. Matt's in the booth. Do you read me?
Hey, what's up, Noah?
Well, you have been all over the board here in this track. I mean, you're running up front now. What's going on?
Yeah, stage 1 stayed clean. I think finished 4th in stage 1. Kept it out of trouble, but got caught up in some mess, and just working my way back up there. I only took gas though, so trying to save that last set.
You banking on a green-white checker?
I think they're not done wrecking, so I'll change tires here on the next yellow.
All right. Well, it is very good to see you up here, and you're, continuing to run. What's going to be your strategy going forward? I mean, I know you're saving those tires, but what's going to be your game plan when it comes to aggression?
I'm not going to be super aggressive on this restart because I have old tires, so I'm going to let everyone else hopefully take each other out and put some fresh tires on and go for the win.
All right. Makes a lot of sense to me. Who do you have to thank before I let you go?
Oh, my teammates, Warren Track Racing, Richard, Chris Stroop, and Kyle. They've been awesome, super help. Thank the admins, Greg, and the team for putting us on. It's a fun time.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Matt, and good luck.
Thanks, Noah.
Matt Stewart in the 7. Going to be coming up to put on a show for us, I guess. I mean that, I guess, not as I believe him, because I do. Not that I don't believe him. I do believe him. We are just going to be in for one crazy race, one way or another. Rob Carl going to be bringing us to the green flag. He's got Will Cloud alongside. If Will took his tires, that is going to be one crazy race between those guys. Kyle Mendel not far behind. It will be a non-stop battle to the finish, but we're only at 1 lap on lap 159. There we go, green. So, with that, got to thank Shorter Plumbing and Wild Cards for bringing us this race as the Irish.com Motorsport Simulation pace car hits pit lane, and it will be Rob Carl bringing us to the Geico restart zones green flag. Many drivers chose to pit last second and take the positions they would be further back on, and we'll have to see that last time. As they go for the long game plan. Will Cloud, I definitely think those are fresher tires. Moves to the high side and still has a running chance. Can he get around him? Great White North leads with FZ behind and warning track right there. But Great White North currently sits in 1, 4, and 5. So that is a lot of support coming up for Rob Carl right behind him. As Will Cloud takes the lead, can he hold it? 40 laps. 40 laps is what he has to make it to make this race is. For Rob Carl, though, I already know him. He is going to be right there. Do his absolute best to make this race his. Gunning for a championship. Paul Ems gets around Snellgrove, though, and as he begins to close into the 34 of Mundell ahead, this is going to be one crazy race. The lights are on here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Wild Cards 300. Wild Cards is an amateur paintball team out in Nova Scotia. Currently, they are actively recruiting, and they are just there to have a fun time. So thank you to them for bringing us to tonight's race. Get in contact with Greg Snellgrove if you want to participate or learn more. Also got to thank Schroeder Plumbing for bringing us all these races we get here with the CASCAR Schroeder Plumbing Cup Series. We certainly do appreciate their big presence, and they have done a fantastic job at that. They're a family-run company that's been in business for over 50 years in the southeastern Wisconsin area. They specialize in residential new construction and remodeling plumbing services. They work with several local builders, or they will work with individuals hoping to build their dream home or do their own remodeling. Give them a call today at 262-971-0401. The number, once again, is 262-971-0401. Schroeder Plumbing. Rob Carl is beginning to close into Cloud ahead, but it wasn't quite enough. We're going to have to keep tabs on that, but I think it's going to be pretty even in pace distribution as Brian Fratian cuts his way forward. Snellgrove really starting to struggle for pace. Chris Pierce, who got a huge position, I won't say penalty, but got sent back way further due to his late pit stop, trying to get as much fuel in that car as possible, cutting back up to 9th into the top 10. Wesley Goodwin currently running in 5th position with his HDR Chevrolet. He's got Tyler Hallahan in 6th behind him. Paul Ems becomes to close in there on the 34. Who are we seeing on the bottom? I think that's Beasley. It is. That's going to be putting Richard Beasley 2 laps down. He must have had a penalty or something to get him down there. Rob Carl is now beginning to close into Cloud ahead. Let's go and bring up our battle forecast. So far, it's doing a pretty good job of predicting what's happening, but right now it's saying similar pace. Let's see how that updates next lap if Carl doesn't already get ahead by then. Mundell holding up the rest of Great White North. He's trying his best to not provide support to Carl ahead and keep that podium position, but there is a long race left here. It's a little bit of connection issues yet again for the 34 team. Cloud breaks away just that little bit. Head back a little bit further. We can take a peek at Patrick Coluccio, currently running in 13th position at the tail end of that pack. And I actually thought he was at the tail end, but he is not. Definitely further back. Paul Ems makes a dive on the outside. Can he make it stick? He does. Paul Ems got the position over Kyle Mundell. Mundell trying his best to hold on to it as Fradian sticks it to the high side. Brian Fradian, we have not seen run towards the top this season really a lot. And it's good to see him finally up here. Remember, he won the shootout at Daytona. He was a competitor for the Final Four last season. And we know that Brian has a lot of skill and he has a lot of things going his way as he pushes forward. So Goodwin currently running in 6th position. Do not count him out at all. He's still going to be a force to be reckoned with coming up here. We can see that he has a lot of short run speed. And we might be getting one of those very soon. Cloud continues to lead. He's got Carl still right behind him. Beasley is technically there, but Beasley's currently running in 22nd. Swipes down through those fresher tires, going to be allowing him to swoop right by, but Cloud's got a buffer car right now, and that's something he does want to see. If Beasley can push Cloud, he won't. But if he could have, that would have helped Cloud a lot stay ahead. Mundell coming in to look to the bottom of Carl. M still running in 4th. He's got Fradian behind him and Goodwin behind Fradian. Tyler Hallahan makes it up into 7th position. Carl's had one crazy race all over the board. Michael Jennings up into 14th, trying to make it pass on Atkinson. Makes a stick. More of a gap starting to create between the leader and the cars further back. Can Kyle Mundell hold his own and get ahead, or is he going to get swamped by Collins behind? With Goodwin holding up 5th place. Trying his best to close into Ems, but he has got Fradian right on his tail. That's not helping as Fradian slows way down in the turn. He got a little bit scared of hitting the wall there. I don't blame him. There's a lot of stakes riding right now as it's going to be a side-by-side battle. It looks like Fiedler able to survive that one. That's going to be forcing Hallahan down to the 8th. Your top 10 all together, making this a very interesting race. To give a huge thank you to all of you guys that have stuck it out so far. This is a very long race, I know. I'm starting to get to the end of it. 175 next lap out of 200 for the Wild Cards 300. If you want to sponsor your own race, get in contact with the administration team here with the CASCAR iRacing League. They have very reasonable rates per race. I would certainly appreciate the support, and you get me shouting out all of your information. A bit more enthusiasm next week, I imagine, as the race will be shorter. But still, fantastic race nonetheless out of these guys, making this one certainly watching. All right, let's head back through the field. Looks like Chris Pierce trying to make his way through. He's down in 9th. He got up to 8th. Tails behind Fiedler. Look at that bottom line. It's starting to get a little bit more speed. Bryn George starting to come back into the picture. Can he get a top 10 here tonight? Just thinking about that compared to last season, top 10 was, you know, it was good to see. Is there 3 wide Snellgrove holding the center? Pierce does up on the high side. George on the bottom. Pierce is caught up there. They continue to run 3. There it is. It breaks. Pierce on the short end of the stick on that one, sent down to 11th. Bryn George able to capitalize now in 9th. He's got the bottom lane. They continue to basically run 3 wide. Fiedler now on the high side. Snellgrove trying to be aggressive as he can to cut his way through the field. And there they go, about to run 3. George not going to let that happen. Not on his watch that easy. Whoa, very close there. Very aggressive moves out of the 22 is Snellgrove. That's forcing that bottom lane faster, though. That is for sure. George capitalizes, is now up to 8th on that one. They smooth out the field. Hallahan able to get 7th on that as he closes in to Brian Fradian. Let's take a look at our battle forecast, see if he can get around him anytime soon. Supposedly within 30 laps. Let's see if that updates across the line this time. We've been able to see Tyler Hallahan really have some good mid-run pace. I think that's where he's, really thriving right now. The start of the run just doesn't quite have it. End of the run also not quite having it. But here in the center run, he's really got it. All right, I think he's losing a little bit of time to Freddie in ahead. Still going to be a good one to watch at that. He's got his teammate closing in behind. Snellgrove able to get through. Pierce up to 10th. Bryn George in 9th, though. Can he continue to hold out for a top 10? Rob Carl hoping to make a pass on Will Cloud. He's got the high line. He doesn't quite have the pace, though. Will's going to throw a block to the high side, and across the line, it'll be 20 to go. Cloud down to the bottom, not quite letting him through yet. He wants to hold on to every last bit of that lead he can, because he knows as soon as Carl gets by, that's it. Let's go and watch it from Kyle Mundell's view. Let's see what he's seeing here at this racetrack. Historic Charlotte Motor Speedway used to host all of the All-Star races. It's changed in the last few years now. But there is a very good reason it hosts the Coke 600, and that's because it just is an absolute banger of an endurance race, especially for stock cars. So we have our similar version, the Wild Cars 300 here. We'll continue to make it that much more interesting, as we still see Will Cloud start to get a little bit of a gap ahead, as your top 3 are really separating. That's about a second gap between 3rd and 4th. Not quite, but just about. Your top 3, definitely your drivers to watch of the night. Pierce makes a pass on Snellgrove for 8th. They've been able to close into Fradian and Hallahan ahead. Snellgrove up to the high side, hoping to make something happen. He's continuing to be very aggressive. Hallahan goes to block his teammate. Pierce caught on the bottom. Fradian not really entirely sure what to do. Continues to just run his line. He's trying to throttle the second, that middle line there, as we're starting to see Pierce really get some ground on the bottom. Can Pierce get around Hallahan and ahead of Fradian? That is going to be an important one to see. Oh, it's a very small collision between those two. Pierce makes it ahead, but a little bit of a collision is going to slow them both down, especially Hallahan, as his teammate's going to be itching to pass him now. Fradian holds his line there. You can see in the 81 Victos Toyota Camry for Equipment Geek Racing. He's got a great car with him. He will not be letting it go that easily. Look to the inside. That's Pierce. We're seeing a lot of speed out of these guys. Can Chris Pierce get a top 5? Jumping back up to your leaders in just a moment. We're going to have to, but that's going to be Chris Pierce looking for the pass. He's got it. There's a block up to the high side, not letting Fradian through. Whoa, loses it off of turn 4 for Greg Snellgrove. He's got his car under control yet again, but that was a close one. All right, got to check in on your leaders. We're starting to see these guys get close together. Will, the 64, essentially, we'll say non-finisher, but he's down in 26, 8 laps down. Will he try to help out Will Cloud and create a buffer? I think he's thinking about it. You can see him right behind, sticking now. Murphy chooses to not. He moves along. Brett Murphy running forward. Chris Stroop out of this race, I see that. Matt Stewart, not going to be an interfering car. Looks like Stewart got commentators cursed. Oops, sorry. All right. Will Cloud still with the lead. Very close from Rob Karl there. Just a kiss of the rear bumper. This is really turning into the race of the year, I think. Depending on how the, the next couple of races go. But we got a pretty good road course selection coming up after this in Talladega. So Indianapolis road course will be up next. That's going to be on the 30th. After an off week, it's going to be Michigan, Martinsville, Rockingham, then Canadian, well, Darlington, then Canadian Tire. So the three road courses we have this season: Indianapolis, Canadian Tire, and Watkins Glen. So that will be a very interesting race. 2 Talladega races coming up. That's going to be Talladega next week and Talladega in the playoffs. We've got a very good schedule for us. Ooh, big slide there out of Kyle Mendel. Always remember, Las Vegas is going to be our season finale yet again. We had a good one last season, and we're going to keep that trend up. Paul M's currently sitting 3 and almost a half seconds back from your leader in 4th. Scott Wesley Goodwin behind him. He's got a good top 5 finish. I think he's going to be happy with it. But Will Cloud, though, as he crosses the line, this is going to be it. 10 to go. This is where all the warning signs come up. If there's a caution now, certain drivers are going to be made and others ruined. If you chose to make a long run call for this last couple laps, you're done for. But if you chose to keep a spare set of tires, like I know some of them did, say goodbye, because they are just going to soar away. But we've had a limited tire set race. We've had a absolute fuel strategy race. This is turning into one of the best races in terms of strategy and honestly in terms of content here on the Fourth World Media Twitch channel. We certainly appreciate all the attendance from everybody. Ooh, skimming the wall for some of these guys. I heard that. All right, let's head down the field just that little bit more. It looks like Chris Pierce has been able to separate himself from the other drivers around. Jeffrey Belk leading up this next pack. He's got Snellgrove behind him. I can only imagine the PTSD this brings up for Belk. So Jeff is trying to maybe, I think, a little bit of a block and not let Snellgrove right through. Equipment Geek Racing, the last 2 seasons, has absolutely won the team championship, but this season it's not a given. Can they come back? But really, it looks like FZ Racing are going to be the ones to watch right now, as they have been all over the board. I don't know about that chat. It's not. I don't know that website. I don't just click links, people. You guys know that. But yeah. We'll take care of it. Michael Jennings now going to be battling with Patrick Coluccio for 13th. Coluccio's been roughing staying around this position. It's been a bit lower than that, a bit up a little bit. But still, that 18 car has been pretty consistent this race, and I think that is a good sign of things to come. Consistency really is key. If you can finish in the top 10 every single race, that's almost a guaranteed shot to some of the final races. And especially if you have some good runs there, that can be your season made. So consistency really is key. You can win all the races you want, but if you don't show up for the rest of them, that's it. That's actually what happened to Brady Floyd last season. Won 4 races, but didn't participate enough and just didn't have enough points to make it straight to the end. Snellgrove, though, gets around Fradian. Side by side for Will Cloud and Rob Carl. Rob, oh, wish I was able to come over there faster. Rob just barely sneaks away the lead. Across the lines can be 3 to go. Can Will Cloud get around him? That will be the question. Can he make it 2 in a row, or is Rob Carl going to be the upset and get a win this season? It's certainly close as they go very close together here through turn 1. But I think Rob Carl almost has it made. Kyle Mundell close yet again, but just doesn't have the luck he needs. Cloud has a couple moments there. You can see him getting very close. Rob Carl still holds on to the lead, and he's really beginning to separate that lead out. I think it's almost going to be made. With it, though, as we continue to run here at the Wild Cardz 300, I thank everybody that's come out to join us. As we cross the line, it's the white flag. Rob Carl takes it to us as he begins to separate himself from Will Cloud. This is going to be one intense final lap. It's a lot of pressure, one mistake, and that could be it. Is Will going to try a final dive down? I don't see it. He just doesn't have it. He's just not close enough. And across the line, it's going to be, as they run through the quad oval, Rob Carl wins here at the Wild Cardz 300 and gets his first win of the season here in CASCAR Schroeder Plumbing Cup Series. Will Cloud finishes second with Kyle Mundell in third. Wesley Goodwin with a fantastic finish in fourth. That's going to be great for him and his team. Paul Ems in fifth. A good run for many drivers. Top 10s around the board for drivers that need it. A great run. Will Cloud going to be given some bumps there to Rob. They had a great race. Very impressive run out of them. And we'll be seeing more cars that are pink throughout the rest of the season. Will loses it heading down pit lane. Doesn't matter. He finished second. He's happy. All right, let's get some burnouts here for the 2 team. Take it away, Rob. With his team. Well, looks like more people are finishing across the line. Come on. Let him do his celebration. Well, we got a little bit of a burnout, so. With that, though, let's go and bring up your third place finisher. That will be Kyle Mundell. Kyle, it's no booth. Do you read me?
Hey, Noah, how are you?
I am doing all right, but you here just finished third at the Wild Cardz 300. What a race.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was, we were debating in, like, the warning track racing team there at the end with that last caution. It was a weird time, and both Richard and Matt decided to not take tires thinking there would be another yellow, and then they would take their last set and fly by us. And I went the opposite way, and turns out my strategy was right.
It really was a 50-50 call, though. You know, you can't blame him for that. And it it really was it was really up in the air. But it seems like the long run strategy definitely played out in your favor.
Yeah, it did. I was at the start of that run. I was turning the car off every time we went off into 1 and 3rd. There's 1 and 3, sorry. And then I kind of fell behind Paul and Brian quickly. And then I checked. I was like, oh, like I'm already 2 to the good, and we got 3 to go. So I flew around both of them like in one turn, it feels like. And then I just tried to hang on to Rob and Will, and I could for a while, but then the last 10 laps, they must have had like another level that I didn't have, and they broke away. And I said that Rob was kind of toying with Will, and sure enough, with like 3 to go, Rob just pulls out, makes the easy pass, and cruises to victory.
It certainly made for a good show between them, though. I can I can see that. I mean, you must have gotten quite the view.
I did. I was just slipping. I could feel like a tenth a lap at the end. I was trying. I knew I had enough gas to make it to the end. Now it's just like I hope they didn't save or something, because a bunch of guys I heard over the radio there just ran out on the backstretch after the checkered. But no, it was well done to those two. Unfortunate for Warning Track Racing to not come away with a better result. I think we were one of the strongest teams tonight, but I mean, next up is Talladega, where it's a big team game and no fast repairs anymore. So we'll see what happens there.
How do you feel about that, the no fast repairs?
I do like it. I am on the side of no fast repairs. It's nerve-wracking for sure, but I'm hoping it will force people to be a little more cautious, especially there at the end. Like dealing with lap traffic was kind of hairy sometimes, but no, I think it's better for the league overall.
Okay, that is I won't say a controversial. I think that's a very reasonable stance. All right.
I hope so. I don't think I'm that controversial. Do you think I'm controversial?
No, I don't think so.
I just stir everything up, don't I, Noah?
Not always, but sometimes. Well, Kyle, certainly thank you very much for your time today, and congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Who do you have to thank for your race car here tonight?
Yeah, thanks to iRacing, Greg, and the rest of CASCAR, Brandon Shores Plumbing for sponsoring the series, Movember and Sharon, and my teammates Stroop and Beasley. Felt really strong tonight, and of course, finally, you for broadcasting. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, once again, thank you and congratulations on the 3rd place finish. Hope to see you next week, Kyle.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, Noah. Have a good night.
Number 34, Kyle Mundell finishes in 3rd for tonight. A nice podium finish for Warning Track Racing. A good team run they're going to be continuing to have. Unfortunate for the rest of their team, though, getting caught up in that. Thank you for the comment, Zach. I appreciate that. Let's go and bring up Will Cloud. It's the 2nd place finisher, Will Cloud. How are you doing tonight, Will?
After 200 laps, I mean, I'm doing great right now. I'm just really happy to get 2nd after that long race.
I know that you'd said earlier that you were not the best on the long runs, but it seemed to me with the amount of laps that you led, you certainly had it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that on that final run, there was obviously going to be no more pit stops to bail me out for some cheap spots on the start, and I've been trying, or let me rephrase that. As the run went on, I was trying just more and more ways to save my tires, and it was definitely working because I was able to hold it for a while. But I don't know what Rob was able to do with those tires, but he had it down. He was there the whole time and just got me there at the end.
Yeah. I was just told by Kyle Mundell that he was toying with you at the end potentially, just to keeping you on your toes.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, like that. There was just so much going on that race with having to save fuel and just trying to hold on in the long run. It was something.
I can only imagine. So, I mean, how does this make you feel in terms of confidence for next week's race at Talladega?
I mean, coming off of a 1st at Bristol and a 2nd here, I'm feeling great going into Talladega. But at the same time, it is Talladega that we're talking about, so that's gonna be something crazy. But then we're gonna move on to I don't even know what the race after that is, but hopefully
Indianapolis Road Course.
Oh, I don't think I ran that track yet in the next gen, so that'll be a fun track to practice. But hopefully the Talladega randomness goes our way, unlike Daytona.
Yeah, well, that is going to bring up something I have been meaning to is I've been seeing a lot of incremental improvement out of FZ and EG Racing. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's a great thing to see. I mean, one of the best things with these races is not only you getting a good finish, but seeing your teammates up there as well. So I know we all have it in us to be all at the front. So it's gonna happen.
I think we're going to be coming into a very final. In the last couple of races, it's not going to be decided who gets the championship in terms of drivers or teams until the very end.
Yeah, it should be a close one, and it should be a fun one to watch too.
Absolutely. Well, Will, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations on the second place. Who do you have to thank for your race car here tonight?
Just like I said in the mid race interview, just all the guys at EG and FC. I mean, just always trying to work with me to get better. And then, even though this isn't about the car, just for that broadcast.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week, Will, and congratulations yet again.
Thank you. Hopefully,
Oh, I didn't mean to cut him off. Thank you. Well, sorry. All right, let's go and bring up your race winner, Rob Carl, in the 2. Rob is Noah in the booth. Do you read me?
Noah, how's it going?
You won your race here in the CASCAR Schroeder Plumbing Cup Series at Charlotte. It's the Wild Cards 300. I can only imagine how glad you are after this very long race.
Oh, I'm sweating, tired, feeling really good. Like I said at the stage, feels really good after what happened at Bristol last week.
I can only imagine. I know that the luck you've had not only last season but this season, well, has just not been the best. But we can clearly see your skill coming through, and you've got it here at Charlotte for sure.
Yeah, last season was really down to the wire. Me and Drake on that last race, that was a lot of fun. There's a lot of good guys, a lot of competition in this league, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, what was your secret to be able to just be so fast here tonight?
Sacrifice short run speed for sure. I mean, Charlotte really needs the tires, and just try and have a steady pace.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense to me. How do you feel about this is going to impact, there we go, your team championship and your driver championship?
As a team, I think we're coming along pretty good. We're working together, practicing together, working on technique, and it's making everybody on the team stronger and better. And I think that's showing everybody. And as far as individual championship, feels good to be locked in and takes a little bit of weight off the shoulders.
All right, makes a lot of sense to me. Well, Rob, thank you very much for joining us up here tonight. What are you gonna do with your race win? How you decide?
I'm gonna go see my little son upstairs, my wife.
Makes a lot of sense to me. What do you think for your race car before we let you go?
Everybody at Great White North, like I said, teamwork is really paying off. And then I want to thank my wife. We got a lot going on in life, and I want to thank her for letting me put away the time to get on iRacing. I love.
All right. Well, Rob, thank you very much for your time yet again, and congratulations on the race win.
Thanks, Noah.
There we go. All right. Rob Carl, the 2 wins here at the very long race here at Charlotte. 2.5 hour stream we're going to be at. That was a race. Well, thank you absolutely everyone that joined us out for this one here tonight. It was a long one, but it certainly had its very big highlights. So that's it. Rob Carl wins. Let's go and run through our final order before we do our sign off. So, Rob Carl wins this race for Great White North, and Will Cloud finishes in second for FZ Racing. Kyle Mandel in third for Warning Track. This is going to be a very big boost for all of their team championships. Wesley Goodwin finishes in fourth. I think it's for Great White, but I'm not sure. Paul Ems finishes in fifth. Jeffrey Belk in sixth. Snellgrove finishes in seventh. Freddie Ann in eighth. George in ninth. Chris Pierce finishes in 10th. Tyler Hallahan in 11th. Brandon Fiedler in 12th. Michael Jennings finishes for J&L Racing in 13th. Patrick Galuccio in 14th. Jesse Atkinson in 15th. 16th for Cody Snyder. 17th for Matt Malavagna. Matt Stewart finishes in 18th. Richard Beasley in 19th. And Brady Floyd finishes 20th. Let's go through your final cars. That will be Wes Gallo for FZ Racing in 21st. Michael Sparks finishes in 22nd. Sylvan Sequin finishes in 23rd. Brett Murphy is going to, Ashton Reiki will be finishing in 24th. Brett Murphy in 25th for Atria Esports. Still don't know why his stuff's getting weird. Kenny Reel finishes in 26th. Christopher Stroop finishes in 27th. Christopher Drake, oh my goodness. Richard Drake finishes in 28th for Kinetic Racing by himself. So unfortunately, he was unable to finish this race. It was good to see him. Ben McDonald finishes in 29th. Cody Olson, in his first start here, finishes in 30th. Daniel Sykes, I am tired. 31st, and Brian Lorenzo, unable to start, finishes in 32nd, technically. So, that will be the end of our race. I want to thank every single one of you that joined us out here tonight for coming in. We had quite a good one, and I am glad that it's done, but it will be good to come back next week at Talladega and make it that much more interesting. Beyond that, at Indianapolis Road Course, we get joined up in the booth by, of course, Matt Malavagna. Great to have him up here. If you want to follow our Instagrams at 4Cloak Media to get more race updates and information, please do. CASCAR Racing, also on Instagram. CASCAR_Racing has their own information as well. Thank you, absolutely everyone that's come out. You can check more about my information at my website. That's going to be 4cloak.net. Got to thank, of course, Pierce Graphics. You can check them out at piercegraphics.com. With their new website domain. It looks fantastic. Got to appreciate them and all the work that they do for us with our fantastic overlays and several of the paint schemes you see out on the field. Of course, got to give a huge thank you to Wild Cardz. Keep in mind that they are an amateur paintball team looking for people out in the Nova Scotia area to join in with their tomfoolery and have some fun. Also, got to give our biggest thank you to Schroeder Plumbing. They're a family-run company that's been in business for over 50 years in the southeastern Wisconsin area. They specialize in residential new construction and remodeling plumbing services. They'll also work with several local builders, or they'll work with individuals hoping to build their dream home or do their own remodeling. Give them a call today at their office number, 262-971-0401. That number, once again, is 262-971-0401. Schroeder Plumbing. That's been the Wild Cardz 300. I've been Noah Walter here on twitch.tv/LoreCloak, and we will see you next week at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Talladega.